Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for March 1st, 2025, Season 2, Episode 9. If you're watching this over on YouTube, all of our notes are in the show notes for all three of the shows today. And if you're over on Twitch, you can actually hit !TCR, the Continuity Report, and Omatron will spit out all of the articles into the stream. So, ta-da! I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and in coordination with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about 5 articles in this show, 5 articles in the previous show, that's Wanted, and 5 articles in the previous show to that, and that's RealityHacker. Then all 3 of them combined turn into an hour and a half plus show called Non Sequitur News Weekend Edition on Saturday, and then 3 different shows on Sunday, and they are WarCrafters, Technology Today, and then 4-Wheel Tech. Anyway, everything is powered by ohmtown.com, so go over there and become a citizen. Thanks, see ya. Oh no, we're not going away. Man, that always makes it sound like we're leaving. We're not leaving. That was the intro.
But I don't think you went down the articles, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I'll do it right now. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt from the present.
I don't know how present I am. So today we're going to be talking about Andor Season 2, I Am Legend's ending, Escape from New York world building, Gene Hackman movies, and Oscar predictions for 2025. Should I do the intro again?
No, I don't think you need to.
No? All right. Well, you ready to get into this?
I am. Let's go.
So I have not even seen this, but it's over in Technology Today. Disney Plus just dropped an explosive, apparently, trailer for Andor Season 2. It's been well over 2 years, but the wait is almost over. The second season of Andor hits Disney Plus on April 22nd. Ugh, God, it's so far away.
Yeah, that's like forever in TV wait.
It's going to get us pumped. There's a juicy trailer to get us all Star Wars pumped. Footage shows plenty of cool stuff, including the return of Rogue One's chief antagonist, Orson Krennic, and the beloved droid K2SO. The Death Star makes an appearance, which isn't surprising given the ending of the first season. Mon Mothma also attends an extravagant let-them-eat-cake type of party. But the article is by Lawrence Bonk over at Engadget.com.
I'm assuming we're not going to get any spoilers in the trailer.
I'm assuming there's no spoilers. So, yeah, I won't play the trailer. Y'all can go over to Engadget.com and check it out. But it says, for the uninitiated, Andor is a prequel to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and is set after the rise of the Empire, but before the events of the original Star Wars movie. It says here in the article that it's very good, with a tone that can only be described as prestige Star Wars. It stars Diego Luna, Stellan Skarsgård, Kyle Soller, Denise Gow, and sometimes, apparently, Forrest Whitaker. Season 2 brings new actors into the fold, like Adria Arjona. I think that's how they pronounce their last name. Anyway, 12 episodes. 3 episodes premiere on April 22nd, followed by another trio each week for a month.
That's a lot of episodes in a short period of time, and then everybody will be sitting and waiting for the next season.
April's a big month for returning genre TV, as Season 2 of The Last of Us premieres on April 13th, but I don't watch zombie movies. Anyway,
I think you should play a little bit of the trailer.
A little bit?
With mute, of course.
No. It's really quiet anyway. Oh. Somebody's firing a blaster in a hallway. I'm flying around in a TIE fighter.
Interesting.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. So for those that are listening to me just say "oh my" in the podcast, we're watching some of the trailer. And we're going to stop with an explosion being set off. And that's it. Andor Season 2.
Looks good.
Gonna have to watch it right after the show and then sit there on pins and needles until April 22nd. Ready to keep going?
I am.
It's been a long time waiting for this.
Since Andor? I know. Yeah. I mean, 2 years during... because we had writer's strike and we were still reeling from the pandemic and everything. Exactly.
Let's keep going. The next article is over in the Continuity Report as well. I Am Legend, what is wrong with the ending and why the Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan sequel is changing that. I Am Legend's theatrical ending has a lot of notable flaws, it says here in the article, which explains why the upcoming sequel starring Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan is building off of a different finale released in 2007 and loosely inspired by the Richard Matheson novel of the same name. I Am Legend focused on Will Smith's U.S. Army virologist Robert Neville smacking the crap out of zombies.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the theme of the movie.
One of the only survivors of a plague that largely wiped out humanity and mutated many of the survivors into Darkseekers, Neville spends much of the time trying to survive his encounters with the creatures while searching for a cure for the virus. So Brandon Zachary over at ScreenRant.com put the article together. It actually ends with a supposed cure and showing a sentience to the Darkseekers. It's weird.
Okay, I think his character is killed off at the end, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this isn't a spoiler. This is too old to have a spoiler alert put on it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's like 2 decades ago.
It's been announced that the long-awaited sequel to I Am Legend will be using the alternate ending as its canon setup. This works for multiple reasons, beyond the fact that it allows Will Smith to return for the sequel, because he kind of blows himself up in the sequel, gives the cure to somebody.
The original, yeah.
Yeah. So these Darkseekers actually, what's interesting about the Darkseekers is it basically ends showing that they reproduce and are sentient and care about each other, that there's some humanity there, maybe.
Which, of course, you don't really get throughout the movie. I don't know if you get it in the novel.
You don't get it from this picture. Neville sacrifices himself to ensure the cure is saved. So, in the theatrical ending, the Darkseekers are purely animalistic in their assault on Neville's lab, and that's not quite true. Even in the theatrical ending, it shows them as seemingly trying to get to the spouse, or whatever you want to call the other zombie that's being experimented on by Neville.
I don't think that description is accurate.
Yeah, maybe it's just us. I don't know. So quickly developing the cure for the global virus, Neville ensures it survives by giving it to Anna and Ethan. While they make their escape, he remains behind and sacrifices his life to stop the Darkseekers. The film's final monologue from Anna reveals that the cure worked and that Neville became a legend. I Am Legend. Among the rebuilt human society. This is a departure from the story inspired by I Am Legend, especially how the Darkseekers are portrayed as monsters. The major element of the original story is the discovery of their enduring humanity despite becoming monstrous looking, which the original ending ignores. So they're basically pivoting to a different alternate ending.
Okay, which is going to more closely match the book.
And we've never read the book. And I saw that humanity in the pursuit of the person, the Darkseeker trying to get to the spouse.
Right. So maybe that was still an undercurrent. Like they didn't completely do away with it in the second, or whatever you want to call it, the chosen ending. And
even in the very ending, the theatrical ending, it was there, just not really amplified. And then it was left off. So it's fascinating that they're trying to pivot. But if it sticks, the thing about it is maybe they weren't expecting a sequel.
Well, I mean, were they expecting a sequel anytime soon? Because it's been a long time.
Yeah. And so the kicker here is that they're going back to the original material and rebuilding, and that's always proven to be beneficial. So whoever punched up the old theatrical release really punched it down, because
Yeah, but they did it because of the test audiences. It says in the article the test audiences didn't like the original ending, which is interesting.
Because something else in the story was left off. It didn't end with anything. The way that I see it, based on what we're reading, is it didn't end with the original theatrical ending. Didn't end with them wanting to know more. They wanted closure. They wanted that door slammed shut, and so they did it. But they did a piss poor job of it.
Interesting, yeah.
So they say here, Neville returns her to him and realizes how his experiments on the Dark Seekers have turned him into their terrifying legend. Apparently, this is going to be closer to the book, I guess. In that version, Neville realizes that the Dark Seeker leader is trying to recover his mate. I got that from the final scene, from the ending of that series, that he was looking for his mate, and that there were children. There were actually offspring. This is one of the things that I say about all zombie type of movies is, how are there so many zombies around still pursuing anything?
Exactly. It does not make any sense. Of course, maybe suspend disbelief in this kind of movie.
Because they're not reproducing zombies. They're all just killing each other or just sitting there until they collapse.
Well, and also the human population in most of these movies seems to be dwindling quickly, which doesn't make a lot of sense with that either.
Yeah, this is, I don't know. It says there's plenty more compelling story to explore in a world where that didn't happen. The ending. There is more world building here, but unless it's in that book, which neither of us have read, then what are they going to be doing? Punching this thing up or down or sideways? I don't know if it's going to work, because
well, it's kind of like, do people like the
book itself,
the story? Do they like the actors? I mean, I think it's going to do quite well.
Yeah. One might say
each of the actors has their own following, so combining them might be a good move too for the studio.
One might say that this next iteration is going to slap.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it might be a legend or something.
No, that one's... So, a setting where the Darkseeker virus wasn't cured and has continued to impact the planet is an inherently more interesting place to explore than a setting where Neville wiped out the virus. Depends on.
I get that, unless there's a second
whatever
issue, emergency, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, there has to be more story. Otherwise, it doesn't matter that the virus exists or not.
Well, so for example, is there a sequel to the book?
Oh, I don't know. Is there? It doesn't say anything in here, right?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, let's go on to the next thing. The next article is over in the Continuity Report. Escape from New York takes place in the same universe as another 1980s sci-fi classic, according to this elaborate theory. Did you find out?
There is a sequel, but I don't know how well it did.
Yeah, we'll have to look into it. So, but this is a zombie movie, and we're not really into zombie movies. It might, I don't know. Well, maybe we'll watch it. So, I'm a big fan of Escape from New York. I really like it. There's a sequel to it, but meh. Escape from New York is one of John Carpenter's most underrated films, taking place in a dystopian future where sections of New York City have been sectioned. It's not sections of Manhattan. The island of Manhattan has been turned into a prison. It's been walled off and turned into a prison.
Oh, okay.
So it's not sections of New York, but anyway, maybe in the book it's different and more sectioned, but anyway, sectioned off and being used as a live-in prison for America's most dangerous criminals, as Carpenter's unforgettable protagonist, Snake Plissken, journeys through the grimy streets of the futuristic New York. The film begins to speak on issues such as gang violence and the homelessness crisis of the 1980s America, which has never really gone away, but we just don't look anymore. Jack Walters over at ScreenRant.com, and probably going to be looking less. Jack Walters over at ScreenRant.com put the article together. Carpenter's dystopian future looks familiar to Biff's dark timeline. So,
oh my goodness, that's interesting.
Yeah, quite fascinating. However, many fans of the film have noticed that Carpenter's dark vision of the future is surprisingly familiar to some of the movies of the same era. There isn't too much backstory given in Escape from New York to explain how society reached this cataclysmic state, which leaves plenty of room for interpretation. While the Escape from New York trilogy was never completed, there are enough hints in the first movie alone to draw interesting comparisons to another sci-fi classic from the 80s. And that is Back to the Future Part 2. Biff's actions cause reality to branch off into a new timeline.
Okay, this is interesting. I did not look ahead at this article, so I wasn't sure what was going to intersect.
Okay, what is the timeline? What is the year of Willy Wonka, by the way?
May find out.
Mid to late 1930s. Yeah.
The book takes place in the 20s, but...
Yeah. So by the time Snowpiercer comes around, maybe it transitions through this. Anyway, I'm trying to make a giant world, cinematic universe where everything is...
Right, connect all of them.
Connected, yeah. So this theory supposes that Biff used his newfound power to influence the president and escalate the Cold War to a point of no return, leading to the dystopian wasteland of Escape from New York. This seemingly makes sense given how neatly Biff's dark timeline lines up with the social conflicts explored in John Carpenter's movie, increased crime rates, and escalation of U.S.-Soviet tensions, and Nixon's presidency exceeding the 2-term limit. These are very specific ideas that are explored in both films, so it's possible they unofficially are connected.
Okay, that's kind of interesting.
Wow. Which means Dark Tower, right? Isn't all of... no, wait. That's not John Carpenter. Stephen King is Dark Tower and all of that.
Oh, that would be interesting to then connect that, because that has its own...
Its own world, yeah. Omniverse. Yeah. So I wonder if there's another theory that ties John Carpenter stuff into...
I don't know. We'll have to be on the lookout for it in Hometown.
Yep. So the problems with Escape from New York taking place in Back to the Future universe, it's more likely that the similarities are a coincidence, but why? Coincidence is just, somebody, just because it exists in the same timeline, but it exists in the same timeline then. Back to the Future Part 2 doesn't seem to mention the major earthquake that destroyed much of New York City in Carpenter's movie, nor does it explain what caused the devastation of Los Angeles in Escape from LA. That's the sequel. It seems unlikely that Biff's actions would have been enough to divert Earth's history so drastically from our real-life timeline, as these earthquakes are seemingly triggered by tectonic movements that Biff would have no control over. But
I'm not so sure about that.
Right. This is just a small town. How many
exactly
times...
what else occurred, right? And what got set in motion and...
Yeah. So hold on. I'm really curious about this. Hill Valley, California. So the town also featured in a dystopian alternate 1985. So I see no reason why it couldn't.
Exactly.
If you follow what temporology suggests, every possible outcome is a fractioned reality, a fractioned timeline.
Right, maybe, and every single action can set a different path in place.
Yeah, so in the path where Biff and New York collide, or Escape from New York and Escape from LA collide, it could be that timeline is immutable. If Biff does what he does, you end up with earthquakes. But the earthquakes are a coincidence, not the dystopian future.
Right, exactly.
Haha, so we can actually bound it back in together. So it's more likely that Escape from New York's excellent aesthetics merely inspired Zemeckis' vision of a dystopian future in Back to the Future Part 2, rather than the two projects actually being canonically linked. Not with that attitude. I am going to liken that they are in the same universe.
I say they are.
Hill Valley is just a tiny little speck. And then when the earthquakes come, it goes dystopian, and Biff makes the maneuvers that lead to it being
right. Yeah, he doesn't have to cause the earthquake for them to be linked.
Yeah, they just are. All right, let's keep going. If you hadn't heard, well, Gene Hackman died. They're investigating still. I don't know exactly what the outcome is, but anyway, passed away on Thursday, February 27th. And this article, he was 95. I didn't know that. But anyway, here are 8 Gene Hackman movies.
Well, I think that's because he's an actor and everybody sees him at a certain point in time in the movies.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Nothing since, right? Like at some point he stopped being in movies, or when he is in movies, they do makeup. So he might be most known for the hard-boiled detective persona he honed in the early 1970s, but it's actually Hackman's lighter roles that are more casual moviegoers will remember him for. Bonnie and Clyde from 1967. I Never Sang for My Father in 1970. Haven't seen those two so far. The French Connection, 1971. Saw that. The Conversation, 1974. I have not seen that. Superman, saw that. 1978. I didn't know
he was in Superman.
Yep. He plays Lex Luthor. Hackman was called to play the villain in what became the first superhero blockbuster, Mad Scientist Lex Luthor. It's a fun watch. Mississippi Burning, 1988. Number 7 is Unforgiven, 1992. Still, there was time for Hackman to pick up a second Oscar for the early 1990s for playing the villainous Sheriff Little Bill in Clint Eastwood's landmark Western Unforgiven. The movie signaled the revival of the Western genre for more modern audiences after it had gone into some terminal decline during the 1960s.
I'm guessing after the John Wayne era, there was not much being done with it.
Yeah, it lost its romanticism, I suspect, but modern Westerns are actually really good watches. And then finally, The Royal Tenenbaums, 2001. As Gene Hackman roles go, the actor's turn as the unruly patriarch of the Wes Anderson movie sounds like it should have been a complete mismatch, which explains why Hackman originally rejected The Royal Tenenbaums. Yet it's arguably the part that best encapsulates his entire career, melding the trademark tough guy of his crime films with his magnetic screen presence, knack for deadpan humor, and sensitive portrayals of family strife. But I think we know him best from
Crimson Tide, I would say. You were going to say something else.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to think. There's something else
there was
similar.
What wasn't he in a Will Smith movie? He pretended to be a cop, person of interest.
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't it? What was the movie?
Oh, I know where we know him from. Enemy of the State.
Enemy of the State. That's it.
Yes, that's right. But also Crimson Tide, I would say. Like both of those, I think, are really good watches.
Yeah, I think those two are the ones that I would like to see again. Could watch Royal Tenenbaums. I don't remember it. I think I've seen it, but I don't really remember it. But they're saying it's the number 8 on this list. I don't know if it's in any particular order.
No, I think this is just a compilation.
A rundown. And I'm surprised that they didn't actually play that. Enemy of the State.
Yeah. I saw actually there's obviously been a lot of articles on Gene Hackman recently, and it was listed in some other articles capturing highlights from his career.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of them say the same kind of a thing. Particularly Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know. That's from 1967. Crimson Tide, though, right?
Yeah, I think that's a well-known one. I mean, in more modern times.
All right, let's do our last article for the March 1st continuity report. It's over in the continuity report, 2025 Oscar predictions and preview who will win 97th Academy Awards. It's
right, which is going to be held tomorrow.
Yeah, right around the corner. The article's over at comingsoon.net. Brandon Shearer. I don't know. Anyway, they're going to be hosted by Conan O'Brien, held on Sunday, March 2nd. It's a fascinating year because there doesn't seem to be any single Oscars frontrunner. A couple of easily predictable wins, maybe, but the Carla Sofia Gascon controversy kind of tanked Emilia Perez's chances. It's pretty much anyone's game, apparently. So who's winning Best Picture at the 2025 Oscars? Ariana Grande going to snag Best Supporting Actress? Who are they going to forget to include in the memoriam? We have some predictions. So they say Best Picture is going to go to Anora, but The Brutalist, The Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked are on the list. Anora? Best Actress is going to go to Demi Moore in The Substance. Really? Best Actor, Adrian Brody in The Brutalist. The Brutalist, I think, is supposedly going to be Best Picture, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Best Supporting Actress, Zoe Saldana and Emilia Perez.
Well, I think that as Emilia Perez or like in Emilia Perez?
In Emilia Perez, yeah. Saldana was definitely a lock for the Best Supporting Actress before all the Carla Sofia Gascon controversy happened. No idea. Best Supporting Actor, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain. Best Director, Brady Corbett.
I'm noticing a little bit of a theme here with The Brutalist.
Yeah, and A Real Pain, Best Original Screenplay. Conclave, I've been told as well, is supposed to be really good. Haven't seen it yet, though. Best Cinematography, The Brutalist. So there's The Brutalist again. Best Original Score, The Brutalist. Best Original Song, they say again, why Awards bodies even bothered to give Emilia Perez so many nominations in the first place is beyond me. I don't think the song El Mal is particularly good either, but it's been winning in pretty much every other award show, so it'll probably win here too. But they don't have it highlighted, but I think that was meant to be bolded. Yeah. Best Editing, Anora. Best Production Design, Wicked. These are kind of fun. I don't know. Best Costume Design, Wicked, but I think the costuming in Wicked seems pretty sedate compared to what could be done. I'm thinking like something like a Nosferatu. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Gladiator 2? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like any of the... Well, Nosferatu would probably be like above and beyond. At least for like the makeup and everything. Yeah. If not the costuming. Yeah, I don't know. The stuff that I've seen from Wicked didn't seem all that particularly amazing. Best makeup, Wicked. I don't know. One person's green. A Complete Unknown for Best Sound, Best Visuals. I'm sure that took hours to make that green. Yeah, I'm sorry. Best Visual Effects, Dune Part 2. I wouldn't be surprised. Best International Feature, Emilia Perez. Best Animated Feature, Flow. Haven't even seen it. Yikes. Best Live Action Short, Anuja. Best Animated Short Film, Wander to Wonder. Best Documentary Film, No Other Land. Best Documentary Short Film, I Am Ready, Warden. So you've heard all these predictions here. It'll be interesting to see how many of these pan out. If you want to see the discussion about all of this, go over to comingsoon.net and check it all out. It was put together by Brandon Schreier. But that's it. We made it under 30 minutes. Woohoo! So we're going to smack the clapboard, and that's going to bring us back to the Continuity Report's front page over at ohmtown.com. Go over and check it out. Become a citizen, sign up or sign in, and be sure to follow us over on YouTube and Twitch. Leave a comment, follow us, download the podcast, leave a 5-star review and a comment there, and I will quote it, and you'll live on in infamy More than famous. You'll be infamous. Anyway, I'm Mayor Watt, and I'm getting out of here, and I'm taking the AI with me.
Good night, I'm Down Citizens. Thanks for joining us for the continuity report for this week. Stay tuned tomorrow for some more weekly episodes. We have WarCrafters, Technology Today, and 4-Wheel Tech.
See you soon. No, you can't jazz hands. Bye-bye YouTube, and bye-bye Twitch.